Hare Krishna. Welcome back to my channel. I am Radhika Piyari Devidasi and today I am going to share with you the glories of Amalaki Ekadashi. King Mandata once asked Sage Vashishta Muni, "O great sage, kindly be merciful to me and tell me about a fast which will help me eternally." On this, Vashishta Muni replied to King Mandata that, "O king, I know about a fast which will actually help you to gain enormous wealth, also get rid of any kind of sinful activities which you may have done in the past, and in the end of your life you will achieve liberation." The name of this fast is called Amalaki Ekadashi. The merit one achieves by performing this fast is more than achieving the merit of donating 1000 cows to a pure Brahmana. Let me explain to you about a story of this hunter whose living was made only through killing innocent animals. He performed this fast unknowingly and achieved great merits through it. There was once a kingdom called Vaidisha. Now, all the people of that kingdom, the Brahmanas, Vaishyas, Kshatriyas, and Shudras, they all were endowed with great bodily strength, perfect fine intelligence, and also with great Vedic intelligence. All these people, they were very much religious, they were not atheistic, they believed in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they performed their own activities pretty well. The king of this kingdom was called Pasha Binduka. His other name was King Chitraratha. Now, King Chitraratha was a great devotee of the Lord. He used to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In his kingdom, there was no miser, no pauper. All the citizens, they were the devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They used to perform their dharma only. They never performed anyone else's dharma, but actually they performed their own dharma perfectly. And King Chitraratha, he took care of his subjects like his own children. Also, in this kingdom, no one sinned ever, and King Chitraratha, along with worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, did special service towards Lord Shiva as well. Everyone in the kingdom, including the king and the ministers and all the sages, they also performed Ekadashi fasting every month, twice, and this is the way how the entire kingdom remained prosperous. So once the time of Amalaki Ekadashi came, and king went along with his ministers and the sages to the forest where there was a river. They bathed there, and then they went to the temple of Lord Vishnu where there was an Amalaki tree. Now this Amalaki tree was actually grown in the temple, so they brought all these wonderful offerings like incense, the diamonds, golds, fruits, flowers, and they worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Lord Parshuram, and they started making this prayer that, "Hey Lord Parshuram, the son of Mother Renuka, please be merciful to us. Please grant us to get rid of all our sinful deeds. Please help us to never perform any kind of irreligious activities." Like this, they were making all these prayers towards Lord Parshuram, and they made all these offerings which they brought with them. Now, they decided to perform that entire Ekadashi in the temple. Celebrations was going on of Ekadashi. They are fasting. They decided to stay the night there and remain awake in that particular austere mood. Now, during this time when this Ekadashi was going on, a irreligious person, an irreligious man, a hunter who would kill other animals and make his living through that, he happened to pass by and he saw this entire thing. And even though he was so sinful, when he watched the ceremonial thing and the prayers and the entire sacred offerings which were done and the glorification of the Lord which was happening, he became very much interested and he actually found it very mystical that what is happening here. So even though he was not knowing what is going on, but everything looked so interesting and so mesmerizing for him that he decided to stay there. While staying there, he was hearing the pastimes and the glories of the Lord, and that became like this special interest he developed for the Lord, hearing about it. And then also in the night time when everyone was awake and the glorification was going on, he decided to stay there, and he was hearing it. So he hid in the corner and he was watching everything. The next day came, the Dwadashi day, and something significant about this Ekadashi is that on that particular time it fell on the time when the Ekadashi and the Dwadashi Tithi both met together. So the next day came and the fasting time, like breakfast time came, and they made the offerings and everyone left. And Hunter also very happy he was after experiencing this, and he went back and then he um, went home and he ate food. Now, as this hunter became old, he actually left his body, and because he unknowingly performed this fasting, so he became in his next life a king himself. As he became a king, his name was King Vasuratha. He was the son of King Viduratha. He was very handsome, like the moon. He ruled the kingdom Jayanti, very devoted toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead, performed a lot of sacrificial yagyas, lot of yagyas to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was always devoted, he always performed his duty well. He never liked pride in anyone, and he himself never had any pride. And if he would see pride in anyone, he would actually smash it. He would serve his praja or citizens like his own children, and he would perform a lot of charity whenever there would be need to do it. So once King Vasuratha, he happened to go to the forest for hunting, and he got distracted from the main path, and he lost his path. So because of that, he decided to just sleep underneath a tree, taking his two hands as a pillow, and decided to rest. He was lying there resting, and some like tribes people, barbarian like tribes people, they actually happened to pass by. They saw him, and because they saw themselves as enemies of the king, because they had this long-term enmity with the king because their fathers and their ancestors and the forefathers were killed by the king. So they decided to actually kill the king in his sleep. They were devising different methods by taking like spears, arrows. They're thinking how we can kill him and we can give him a painful death. So they were thinking in this manner. And the reason why they wanted to kill the king is because they thought that because of him killing our forefathers and ancestors, we have come to this situation where we are roaming like mad people, like tribes people. So that is why they decided to kill the king. As soon as they went to touch the king, they were actually shocked because they were not able to touch the king, and they were trying to touch him from every side and they were not able to. And they became very frightened. They lost their intelligence, and uh, in that fear and frightenness, they actually became unconscious and they started like acting crazy. So while this thing was happening and they didn't know what to do because their intelligence was taken away, so as soon as they were like all this in this mad state, a woman came out from the body of the king, and she actually came out with a chakra, and with that chakra she actually killed all these tribesmen on the spot. So the king, when he woke up from his sleep, he saw these dead people lying around him, and he understood that they had actually came to harm him, but here he is unscratched. So he was wondering who actually did this, like who saved him. So the voice he heard from the sky saying that who else can save you rather than the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Because you have the mercy and the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is why you are saved. By hearing these words, the king became so overwhelmed with love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead that he went back to his kingdom, and he rejoiced. He was very much rejoiced, and he then ruled the kingdom with all his heart, and had faced no obstacles at all. So therefore, King Mandata says that anyone who performs this particular Ekadashi knowingly can achieve much more merit than what this particular hunter had achieved just by performing it unknowingly. So if one performs this Ekadashi or this Amalaki Ekadashi fast, they can surely go to the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and one can achieve the most religious merit by performing fast on this sacred day. If they do not have a Malaki tree, it is said that one can worship Tulsi Maharani, and also someone can plant the seeds of Tulsi and offer ghee lamp, then it will be very much beneficial on this particular day. So thus ends the glories of the Falgun Ekadashi, which is called as Amalaki Ekadashi. Thank you so much for watching. Hare Krishna.